of 636 calories for my carbohydrates, for my carbohydrates, for my carbohydrates, for my carbohydrates, for my carbs and my fat each. Now start.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the 7th episode of my Better You Health series. In the previous video, I showed you my personal records on the bench press, the back squat, and the deadlift, as well as marking the end of my successful recomposition phase. You can watch that video here up above or in the link down below. This week marks the start of my weight loss / cutting phase, which will be going on for the next 3 to 4 months. And as promised in the previous video, I want to show you guys my own macronutrients, the calories that I'll be following, and how you yourself can get an estimate of your own macronutrients and calorie needs. So before we get started, please do consider subscribing to the channel. It really does help a lot. About 85% of you guys aren't subscribed to the channel yet, so that can mean that there's a lot of you guys that come back, watch my stuff but haven't subscribed yet, or there's a lot of new people out there. Hi, how you doing? So if you haven't yet, or if you're new to the channel, I hope you can consider subscribing. It really does help a lot. Please and thank you. Again, going into this series, it's primarily on experimenting on myself and trying to educate you guys on what I'm doing right and wrong. What I'm sharing with you guys is based off my knowledge as a licensed nutritionist dietitian here in the Philippines. So for a lack of better words, I'm just not pulling this out of thin air. But I also want to mention that I don't doubt that there are other ways, maybe even better ways, for you to get the information that I'm sharing for yourselves. This once again is what I found works best for me, and as with everything in the series, it's all about specificity to his or her their own. I'm going to try and simplify this video as much as I possibly can so that all of you from any walk of life can apply it and make a better change. And lastly, before we get started, I need to disclaim, if you're not 100% healthy, if you have any underlying conditions, this isn't meant to find yourself treatment or a prescription. This is just a general recommendation based on my own personal experience and is meant for healthy individuals. So if you don't fit these categories, I always recommend that you consult a physician or a professional so that you get exactly what you need. And if you already know how to get your macronutrient or your own calories that you need to eat to lose or gain weight, this video isn't for you. I guess I'll just see you next week. But alright, finally, let's get started. The first thing you need to know is your ideal body weight, or IBW for short. As the name implies, this is the body weight that is quote unquote ideal in relation to one's height on average. Of course, this is all relative. For example, if you're a bodybuilder and when you're stepping on the scale you're considered overweight compared to your ideal body weight, doesn't necessarily mean you're unhealthy, because again, muscle is denser than fat. Or just because you are in your ideal body weight but you have a higher percentage of body fat compared to your lean muscle mass doesn't exactly mean you're healthy. In fact, it might even mean the exact opposite. The IBW is just a good number to aim for in relation to being healthier, especially if you're way over or under that number. What I love to do is not only get that exact number of the IBW, but get an IBW range, which is just plus minus 10% of that number. This gives me a bigger opportunity to see what I want for myself. Maybe if I hit a specific body fat percentage, for example, for myself, I want to be in the 10 to 15% body fat range, and I end up being heavier than my IBW, I don't have to beat myself up for not hitting my exact goal because I might already be happy with where I am. Also, please keep this in mind in more extreme cases where you're over or under your ideal body weight by 30 or more pounds. I don't recommend aiming for your IBW right away, but instead aiming for an improvement of about 10% before attempting to aim for your ideal body weight. So for example, if you're 250 pounds and you want to lose weight, instead of going for your ideal body weight of 170 pounds, which is an 80-pound difference, I would initially aim for losing 10% of the 250 pounds, which comes up for aiming for a body weight of 225 pounds, only 25-pound difference, and then readjusting your goal along the way. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, aiming to lose the 25 pounds over the 80 pounds altogether, but actually an improvement of just 10% is a great improvement on your body already, physically, aesthetically, and functionally. So going back to getting your own ideal body weight, there are definitely apps and websites out there that can calculate that for you. So once you get that value, just add in minus 10% to get your ideal body weight range, and then skip to this time to go for the next step. But since this is my profession, the method that I usually use is the TANNHAUSER'S method, which is essentially just your height in centimeters minus 100. So for me, for example, I'm 175 centimeters, minus 100 leaves me an ideal body weight of 75 kilograms, or if you times that by 2.2 gives you an ideal body weight of 165 pounds. When you plus minus 10% to that, my ideal body weight range has a minimum of 149 pounds and a maximum of 182 pounds. This goes to show that my goal to be at 170 to 175 pounds is within my healthy range, and it also gives me an estimate of how far I need to go to get my goal. So now that you have your ideal body weight, we'll now move on to your total energy requirement, or your TER, which is basically just the calories you need in a day to maintain your weight based on your activity level. When getting this value, you have to be completely honest with yourself so that you know that you're getting the most accurate value possible. Again, there are definitely ways that you can find this online via apps or websites. So if you already have that value, skip to this number for the next step. So going back, getting your goal calories in kilograms. So since mine is 175, that equates to 80 kilograms. You use the values here on screen to get the average between your purposeful exercise, which is the amount of time and effort you put into just working out, and your lifestyle level without exercise, meaning your activity level throughout the day during your job or just at home. So starting off with exercise, choosing 30 means that you don't have exercise whatsoever. 35 means that you work out at least 1 to 3 hours a week, but with minimum to light effort. So it's enough to get your heart rate up, get you sweating, but it's not really something that you get exhausted over. Choosing 40 means that you work out at least 3 to 5 hours a week. These are moderately paced exercises, so average intensity for regular health buffs. And choosing 45 means that you work out more than 6 hours a week with extreme intensity. So this is usually reserved for professional athletes, or this can be reserved for people who work out hours and hours on end almost every day of the week with really intense workouts. Then the same goes for your lifestyle. 30 is for people with desk jobs, people who spend most of their day sitting down. 35 is for people who have a mix of sitting and standing throughout the day, such as teachers, supervisors that make rounds. 40 is for people who are constantly on their feet, people like nurses, medical practitioners, restaurant servers. And of course 45 is for people who are extremely active throughout their whole day. Like I mentioned, professional athletes, maybe construction workers, people dealing with high levels of physical activity in their job. This is why I mentioned that you have to be honest with yourself when choosing which value. Like for example, like myself, technically I would be in the 40 range for my exercise, but I chose to go 35 because I only work out about 30 minutes a day with light to moderate intensity. And for the rest of the day, I'm usually sitting down making videos or doing work. So that gives me a lifestyle range of 30. Then taking the average of those two gives me an activity level of 32.5. Finally, you take the value of your average activity level, you multiply it by your goal weight in kilograms, giving you the result of your total energy requirement. So for myself, I get a value of 2,600 kilocalories per day. Technically, you're supposed to multiply your overall activity level with your current body weight in kilograms, and you totally can if you want to maintain your body weight right now. But since my goal is to lose weight, I opted to use my goal maintaining calories so that I'm in the calorie range that I need to be in that said weight. I hope that makes sense for you guys. So like I mentioned, the 2,600 calories that I got is my maintaining calories, meaning that if I want to maintain my weight right now, this is the amount of calories that I need to eat. But since once again my goal is to lose weight, I need to lessen that calories in order to lose weight. You probably heard the gold standard before. You need a deduction of 500 calories a day to lose 1 pound a week, and you need an addition of 300 pounds a day to gain 1 pound a week. So taking those values, if you want to lose 2 pounds a week, which is the maximum amount of weight that I recommend, you have a deduction of 1,000 calories a day. And if you want to gain 2 pounds a week, you have an addition of 600 calories a day. I decided to aim for an average between 1 to 2 pounds a week, giving me a reduction of 750 calories, leaving me a requirement of 1,850 calories, or rounded up 1,900 calories. Alright, I know that there's a lot of computation happening right now. Please bear with me. This is the last step that you need, which is finding your allowances for protein, carbs, and fat in a day based off those calories. We'll start with the protein intake first. There's a lot of different literature out there. The average range is usually from 0.7 to 1.2 grams per pound body weight. So to keep things simple, I'm aiming for 1 gram of protein. So that would give me 175 grams of protein in a day. But personally, I want to be more realistic with my goal, and 175 grams is a lot. So since I want to be 175 pounds at about 10% body fat, I decided to deduct 10% from that 175, leaving me with 157 grams of protein per day, since that's going to be my goal lean body mass at the end of this cut. Now to translate that 175 grams to actual food portions. In a 1 ounce or 28 gram food serving of protein, this can be your chicken, your beef, your pork, your fish, you theoretically get 8 grams of protein digested in the body. And when you measure out your food portions using the hand method or the healthy plate method, that measures out to 4 ounces or 112 grams of meat. And like I mentioned, per ounce there's 8 grams of digestible protein, so you multiply that 8 grams of digestible protein by the 4 ounce serving and you get 32 grams of digestible protein. Finally, you take your protein allowance in a day, mine was the 157 grams, and divided by the 32 grams per serving, leaves me with a total of 5 protein servings per day. Next is to get your carb and fat servings. You need to know that each macronutrient has an equivalent calorie per gram, which is why we're dividing up the macronutrients in the first place, because they all cost calories. Both protein and carbohydrates are 4 calories per gram, and fat is actually higher in calories with 9 calories per gram. So taking my 157 grams of protein and multiplying that by 4 gives me 628 calories allotted for my protein content. You then minus that number from your total calories, which mine is 1,900 calories, leaving me with 1,272 calories that I can allot for my carbs and my fat. You can then divide that number however you like, but of course to keep things simple, I like to just divide it by 2, leaving me with an allowance of 636 calories for my carbs and my fat each. Now for the carbs, I know I mentioned that I don't recommend measuring out your fruits and vegetables because I know for a fact that we don't get enough vitamins and minerals throughout the day, but they still technically have calories, so you need to minus the minimum amount of vegetables that you have in a day to your total carbohydrate calories before getting your starchy and complex carb allowances in the day. So all you need to know is that 1 cup of vegetables on average has 3 grams of carbs and 1 gram of protein, which is equivalent to 32 calories per cup. Then you just multiply that 32 calories by the minimum amount of vegetables that you'll have in a day. So for me, I'm aiming to have 3 main meals a day, meaning that I want to have at least 3 cups of vegetables in the day. So I multiplied the 32 calories per cup by 3, giving me a total of 96 calories allocated for my vegetables. Finally, you minus that 96 calories from the original 636 calories for total carbohydrates, leaving me with a total of 540 calories allotted for my starchy or complex carbohydrates. The next step is to divide that 540 calories by 4 because like I mentioned, there are 4 calories per gram in carbohydrates, which leaves you with 135 grams for your starchy and complex carbohydrates. 1 serving of starchy or complex carbohydrate is estimated to be a cupped handful for the hand method, 125 grams or 1/2 cup in general of your rice, your grains, your cereals, your yams, so on and so forth. And that serving size has 23 grams per serving. So like we did with the protein, you take the grams that you have allotted for the day, which for mine is 137 grams. You divide it by the grams per serving, so in this case it's 23 grams of carbohydrates per serving, leaving me with an allowance of 6 servings of starchy and complex carbohydrates per day. Finally, the home stretch. I know there's a lot of numbers going on, I'm sorry guys, but finally we're left with the fat. Like I said, fat has higher calories compared to protein and carbs at 9 calories per gram. So you take the remaining calories that you have, you divide that by 9, leaving you with your grams of fat per day. In my case, I have 636 grams left in a day. I divide that number by 9, leaving me with 70 grams of fat per day. 1 serving of fat is equivalent to 1 thumb measurement for the hand portions, 1 tablespoon or about 15 grams. So you divide the grams of fat per day by 15 grams, leaving you with your servings of fat per day. And of course, for my case, you take 70 grams, you divide that by 15, giving me an allocation of 5 servings per day of fat, whether it be my thumb, 1 tablespoon, or 50 grams of healthy fats, nuts, almonds, oils, so on and so forth. And that's it guys, you finally know a method to find your calories and the macronutrients you need in a day to finally start your diet regimen. To wrap things up with my diet plan, I am starting with a daily requirement of 1,900 calories with 157 grams of protein, 153 grams of carbohydrates. This is a combination of my fruits, vegetables, starchy and complex carbohydrates, and 70 grams of fat. Or to simplify it all with the method that I'll be trying to use throughout this phase, which of course is the hand method, my daily food requirement is 5 palm sizes of protein, 6 cupped hand sizes of carbohydrates, and 5 thumb sizes of fat, with of course at least 1 cup of vegetables per meal. I know that this has been a long brain-racking video, but like I mentioned in my previous videos, you don't even have to use this method to find improvements in yourself. Like I mentioned in my first video, I didn't use this method at all. I just started with consciously looking at my average amount of food per day and started slowly and safely trimming it down little by little. Once I started or stopped seeing progress, I just adjusted accordingly. I always aimed for variety and moderation. If I started losing too much weight, I added more food. If I wasn't losing weight at all, I reduced the food even more. And of course, I don't deny that there are a lot of websites, apps, programs out there that can help you get your macronutrient and calorie needs more efficiently, effectively, and definitely easier than the method that I showed you today. Whichever one it is, I hope you find one that suits you best. Just stay consistent with it throughout, and I highly doubt that you won't see improvement on yourself. I really hope that this is the last time I make a complicated video like this. Figured that I need to do it at least once in my video series. But if you don't don't like this type of video, I totally understand. Don't worry. The next few videos will probably be more update/journal entry style, and it'll definitely be simpler topics to help you be a better you. I actually already have an idea that I want to release for the video next week. I want to compare the effectiveness of tracking on your hand portions versus tracking on an app like MyFitnessPal. So definitely subscribe to the channel if you want to see those results. As homework, of course, you guessed it, maybe try finding your own macronutrients, your calories that you need in a day if you haven't yet, whether it be this method that I taught you, an app, a website, a program. Just see what you can improve on, see what you can change, and once again, find more ways to reach your goal to becoming a better you. And that is it for this video, guys. Leave a comment down below on what you guys think of this video. Do you guys like this type of videos? A little bit complicated, a lot of computations, or do you like my other videos that are a lot more simpler, a lot more personal? Leave a comment down below. I love conversing with you guys there. Follow me on Instagram at @AlbiPeralta. I'm a bit more personal there. I post stories almost every day, and I post when I have a new video coming out here on my YouTube channel, so that's one way to get notified, other than of course subscribing. Guys, it really does help a lot. Leave a like on this video if you like it, that's what the like button is for, and check out my other videos on this channel. I have the other episodes of my Better You Health series. I have a lot more sneaker reviews, challenge vlogs, personal vlogs, Pokemon card unboxing videos, gaming videos, anything and everything between will be on my channel. And that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys when I see you. Bye guys.
That's